Welcome back. In Part 1, we covered the start of the Cold War and how the world split into two camps. Now, it's time to reach for the stars literally. The space race was one of the most exciting aspects of the Cold War, where the US and the Soviet Union competed to see who could conquer the final frontier first. It all started when the Soviet Union launched Sputnik in 1957. A simple beep-beep from space, and boom, the US was freaked out. They didn't want the Soviets to dominate space, so they kicked their space program into high gear. The race was on. On one side, you had the Soviets sending the first human, Yuri Gagarin, into space. On the other side, the Americans were determined to land on the moon. It was like a high-stakes game of tag in space, and the world was watching every move. And then, in 1969, the US landed on the moon. Take that, Soviets. The space race wasn't just about exploration, it was a way for both superpowers to show off their technological and military capabilities. After all, if you can send a man to the moon, who knows what else you can launch into space. But space wasn't the only battlefield in this Cold War. Down on Earth, it was all about espionage. From the CIA to the KGB, spies were everywhere sneaking secrets, flipping agents, and engaging in all sorts of cloak-and-dagger activities. It was like a global game of hide and seek, but with higher stakes. Whether it was the U-2 incident, where the US got caught spying on the Soviets from the sky, or the Cuban Missile Crisis, where we all held our breath for 13 days, the Cold War was a nerve-wracking mix of space exploration and espionage. So, how did all this tension play out on the global stage? Find out in Part 3, where we'll explore the proxy wars, nuclear standoffs, and how the Cold War finally thawed. Kinda. Stay tuned.